And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. We have Chris, the old guy, once again. Folks, just as a reminder, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. Let's get in it. We have so much to talk about, Krusty. This week is hockey drunk. There's just so much that has happened. But as we talked about last week, because we recorded the episode prior to the PWHL Draft, so we weren't able to talk about it, but I did want to touch on it before we get to the NHL because there were some surprises in the draft, and gosh, I just can't wait till next season. So obvious one with the number one overall pick for the PWHL draft was for the Vancouver Golden Knights, and they've got KK Harvey. Excellent addition. Vancouver and Seattle were definitely in the position where they needed a bit of everything just with the expansion. And especially in Seattle's case, how many pieces left in this new expansion for these next four teams. But KK is obviously a fantastic hockey player and a great addition for Vancouver. First surprise of the night, not too crusty, but a lot of people were figuring that Layla Edwards was going to get drafted by the Seattle Torrent. She did not. Abby Murphy, you are headed to Seattle.
That means I'm headed to Seattle.
That means you are headed to Seattle, Krusty.
I just went to Seattle.
Yeah.
Are you sure Seattle won't play here in one of those takeover games?
They may, but okay. You also have the option of, going to maybe an away team city, maybe a city that you're a big fan of that's already out west, and seeing when Abby Murphy goes to Vegas.
Okay, yeah, because, that's, my woman has to get there a couple times a year, so.
Exactly, so that is always an option. I will be making my way back up to Minnesota, not only because I'm a Minnesota Frost fan, but also it's just the closest to us, and their rink is really, really nice. Second big surprise, Vegas had the number 3 pick in the first round with that Captain America trade to Detroit. And so people were figuring, okay, Abby Murphy is going to go 2, figuring Layla Edwards goes 3. She did not. Tessa Janicki is the newest addition for the PWHL team in Vegas. Tessa Janicki is also an incredible player, was on that Olympic team with Harvey, Edwards, and the rest of them as well. You're figuring that, Seattle and Vegas were really just trying to get the best available forward possible. Then San Jose is up next. San Jose snags Layla Edwards. I think this is going to be a great fit for her because the different pieces that were coming in the expansion draft to San Jose, it looks like a pretty interesting team. I'm excited. A lot of talent on that team. And obviously, Layla Edwards is a huge addition to that talent on that team. So it should be very exciting. Some other signings kind of going with the end of the expansion draft. You've got Taylor House going to Boston. Previously, she was with Ottawa and Chicagoland local. You've got Jesse Eldridge headed to the Montreal Victoire. You have a CJ Jackson extension for the Seattle Torrent. Ella Huber went from Boston to Detroit and then was traded back to Boston. And then you have Dara Gregg sent to Ottawa. This is Ridley Gregg's sister. So you have another brother-sister playing in the same city between the PWHL and the NHL. We've got the Comfer siblings and now the Gregg siblings.
It's a lot of siblings.
Yeah, family wants to
Can't they, just let other people play? What are they, all Hugheses? Thanks for laughing.
So those were kind of the notable things that happened this week. Again, it'll probably be a little bit quieter until the season starts. For those that are new to the PWHL, the PW season starts later than the NHL just because there's less teams, there's going to be less games. So usually they start November-ish. And then hopefully that schedule will probably come out later in the summer, fingers crossed. But I just wanted to touch upon the PW stuff because a lot of exciting things happened and good things. Jumping to the NHL. There's so much to talk about, Christy.
Yes, I'm very curious how you're going to start this. I've given you a big hint on how you should start it, but we'll see if you pick it up.
Hard hats. For those that are just listening, Chris. Oh, yes.
Oh, look at that. Hey, anybody who's just watching saw the little light bulb go above the tiara, and all of a sudden it came together for Hockey Princess.
I thought you were wearing that because of like one of the trades that happened and you were trying to be smart about it. No, I completely get it. So first and foremost, guys, there were a lot of rumors last week, but I really didn't want to touch on it while there were rumors and wanted to wait to the official announcement just because it's when it comes to retirements, it's not really my business until I hear it from the player, but we have heard it from the player. Jonathan Toews is retiring from the NHL. We kind of figured this, especially with how the Winnipeg Jets season went last year. You figure maybe if they were a bit more competitive, you would try to see if Johnny stays for another year or so. But he is not. He is retiring. Oh, Captain, my Captain. My For You page on TikTok was for 3 days was just edits of Jonathan Toews. I mean, obviously, he was a great captain here. Glad that he was able to come back and kind of end his career on his own terms. And he was the one that was able to decide that and not just a doctor recommending, hey, be done. I was glad that he got the opportunity to play for his hometown team for at least a year. Obviously, there's so many things we could say about Johnny. This is a Blackhawk podcast.
Sure is. So for those people who are not watching, yes, it's the red hard hat from Hard Hat Night of long ago.
Probably the silliest giveaway with what happened that night.
Yes, for people who don't know the story, hard hats were given, which doesn't make a lot of sense anyways. Then there was the Jonathan Toews hat trick. So hard hats were thrown onto the ice only for the goal to be taken away. And all the hard hats taken away, but people saved the hard hats because Johnny scored again. And then more hard hats came. As you can tell, we did not throw our hard hat. We'd much rather have it signed by Johnny. So that's what we did. Yeah, there's not much to say. I go back to the Dead Poets Society. I wanted to do my captain, and stand on top of my table outside on the deck, and then just figured, something bad would happen and I would break something. It would be probably really good video and great content, but I wasn't willing to risk that.
No, that's fair.
We will never see anybody like him again. That is for sure. I've got a lot of great Jonathan Toews moments. Crazy as it is, some of them are from the 2011 season when they got knocked out in the first round. But that game 7, there was a minute to go, and you just knew somehow, some way, Johnny was going to score. And he did. And his reaction after they lost that series was one of the craziest things I had ever seen. They were down 0-3. They ended up losing in 7, and his look of disbelief that they lost the series was incredible. Also, kind of sad what happened towards the end of the career. More from media around that all of a sudden this captain of mine who demanded 100% and constant effort and results was being slightly ridiculed for being too abrasive and too caring and needs to just relax a little bit. That's not the way Johnny operates.
Nope.
Glad he was able to go to Winnipeg. I think we told our couple of Winnipeg stories of exactly how crazy Johnny was, even at a young age, that we found out from a couple guys that were sitting in front of us. There's everybody starts thinking, okay, well, what's next? Will he coach? Well, I don't think Johnny is going to do anything.
And that's fine. Go full Dustin Byfuglien off the grid.
Well, Dustin's fishing.
Yes,
he's a professional fisherman. Yeah, I am all for it.
Whatever you need to do.
Watch that retirement video, and he explains it perfectly. Since probably the age of 12, hockey, train, hockey. And then he goes through during his NHL career. Hockey, 2 weeks off, start training, this, that. He basically states that for 24, 25 years, it's been his whole world. And in his 2 years away, in one of them, a hard year of trying to get back, he realized it's a huge world out there. And he seems like a guy that, he's going to go mess off, have some fun, and do a bunch of other things. I don't think he wants to dive into anything and be that narrow-minded probably ever again. And I support it. So it's sad to see him go. As you pointed out, glad that it was on his own terms.
Yeah.
We will never, as I said, we will never see anybody like him.
No.
But I do look silly with the hard hat, right?
Just a little bit. But you had to do it.
I had to do it. Now, can I switch up now, you think?
Absolutely.
And just go to regular cap?
Okay.
Does that look a little better? That's for you, Johnny. Good luck and everything else. It's not like you need it. It's not like you'll be hurting for money. So that's what I wanted to lead with. Thanks for taking my lead on it.
Next up, very big switch, because that was probably the best news that we have for this episode. The Edmonton Oilers have a new head coach. It was rumored and speculated, and there was a approval process that had to be had with Mike Babcock being appointed as the new head coach for the Edmonton Oilers. For anyone that is new to hockey and is wondering why, there was an investigation, why it wasn't just because this is not a normal occurrence. Like usually coaches just get hired, or at least that is what is told in the media. Babcock does have history of not saying some great things to players, not doing some great things. We won't talk too much on the details, but if you want to learn more, it's all on the internet. For anyone who is, not thrilled by this, I'm with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Mike Babcock. I'm just not the biggest fan in general of just trotting out the same 5 head coaches that have been coaching since I was 10. I really like when new people are able to come into coaching positions because we've seen that work well for certain teams. And I just don't like trudging up the same guys, especially ones that have created such a toxic culture within their locker room. But Mike Babcock, you are an Edmonton Oiler, I guess.
Yeah, so many thoughts on this. So many. I could do 15, 20 minutes. I'll try to condense if you would like me to.
Sure. I have so many thoughts and then also no thoughts at the same time.
Yeah. Basically, there was a meeting with I don't know if you call them the locker room heads, but you've got your Draisaitl, your McDavid, your Hyman, and They had a nice meeting with Babcock, and from what I have heard is basically they were like, yeah, we need somebody to ride us hard. We need a really tough coach. Now, my thoughts just on that.
That's very telling.
Well, it's very telling. So you're telling me, as the leadership group in that locker room, you didn't ride the rest of the players, and that's too much for you.
It's a general lack of accountability.
I need a coach to come in and do that for me, because us as the leadership group were unable to get that done. This is coming from somebody who he took 7 years to figure out he needed to play defense in the playoffs. Okay. I don't understand it.
No.
But at the end of the day, as much as we all started with this whole big thing, this is all on Stan Bowman, I believe that narrative has changed. This ends and starts with that leadership group.
So it's not the general manager's job to hire the head coach.
Yes, it is.
Okay, but then it's Stan.
He did not. Basically, this was a hire by that leadership group in Edmonton.
I didn't know Leon Draisaitl got a promotion.
Well, he did.
Clap for him that he got a promotion and such a big pay bump. Because I'm pretty sure it's not Leon Draisaitl that's writing the checks for Mike Babcock. I'm pretty sure it's Stan. And I mean this with full, Chicago spite. This is a Stan hire. And this shows me that Stan has not changed. Stan has not learned from previous mistakes from earlier in his career. This shows me he is the same man.
Well, you can say that. Stan has always been a phenomenal yes man. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I just went, yes. So, but this does come down on the leadership group. They're the ones who wanted him. I don't believe there was a lot of checking with the rest of that team. Again, so for me now, it lies squarely on those three players.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. I found it crazy for another market that has to deal with a lot of distractions. I don't know why you'd want more. Do I think they got the best coach out there? No.
No, because the best coach out there is sitting under the Vegas umbrella, but he's not allowed to go be employed.
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't want to spend too much time on this, but those are just my thoughts on it. It'll be interesting, but this is now on McDavid. There's no more we need help. I need. You've gotten your guy that you wanted. So some ownership this year would be great.
All right. Do you have any news that you would like to bring up before I begin the sea of trades?
I don't think I have any news, except if you're going to start from the beginning of the sea of trades. Who would have imagined when this whole sea started? That seems like it was 2 weeks ago. And almost
I feel like I've been awake for 2 weeks with these trades.
Almost seems like that's like back page news now.
Yeah.
But go on.
First up, we've got Darren Radish going to Toronto from Tampa. I think this is huge for Toronto because, as we've been saying, as well as I think other media in hockey, Toronto, they have talented forwards, they have pieces, but Toronto has a giant hole in their defense, and Darren Radish is coming off a fantastic year with the Tampa Bay Lightning, so I think this works fairly well with Toronto. Let me check something really quick.
Go ahead and
with the
check.
Tampa Bay situation. The Tampa Bay Lightning are not in complete cap hell, but it definitely helps to free up a little bit of money. They've got just slightly under 14 mil available. So I think this works for Toronto. And it looks like Tampa doesn't have to re-sign a ton of people this year, but enough that you're gonna want a little bit of wiggle room, especially going into July 1st as well.
Yeah. Who is our Florida guy?
Rod.
Yes. And, when we talked to Rod last, he said Tampa will find a way. I believe Tampa could have found a way.
Yeah.
But they wanted no part of this.
Yeah.
This is a 30-year-old player who's had one good year.
Right.
On a team
that is already very good.
That he got to take over the top power play because their power play guy was out. We'll get to our trade later, but if I'm given a choice between who we got and this guy that we're talking about right now, I take the guy we got.
Yeah.
There is a lot of questions with Radish.
Yes.
Just a lot. I believe it was an overreach by them, but as we knew, somebody was going to overpay for him.
Yes.
And, as we always say in this show, as Ruchu will say also, good on the player.
Yeah. Get your bag.
Yes. Always get your bag.
Next trade we've got, and this one was a little bit of a head scratcher until the second one came out. So the first one we have is between the Seattle Kraken and the Florida Panthers. Seattle acquires Mackie Samoskevich, and then Florida Panthers receive the 25th pick for 2026, and then a conditional second for 2027. As we've also talked about with Rod when talking about the Panthers, Mackie Samoskevich was one of the younger kids coming up. He was with University of Michigan and then was kind of brought up through the farm system with the Panthers. Is a young kid with a lot of potential, a lot of scoring potential and offensive skill. I think this bodes very well for the Seattle Kraken, because the Seattle Kraken are kind of just in this awkward position where I think they've got like a ton of utility guys that are veterans and can play quality hockey, but you don't have anyone that Matty Beniers can play with. Mackie Samoskevich is that guy. And I think he's only going to get better as he develops. So I think this is a great addition by Seattle. And you really didn't give up a ton because Seattle does have picks, prospects coming up. It's not like that they have nothing and that they desperately needed these picks. And Florida, I'm not going to say that it's the beginning of the end, obviously, but if this week continues and there's more pieces to be moved, I honestly don't know what Florida is going to look like come October. The Team USA wrench of it all is kind of just making players and things go all over the place. So, if I'm Bill Zito, I'd want to have a couple of draft picks, in the back pocket to flip and use as I see fit, which leads into the second trade that we saw coming, but I really didn't think the Panthers were going to make it happen. We knew that Brady Tkachuk was getting out of the Ottawa area and just out of Canada after his behavior post-Olympics. And even a bit pre-Olympics, we knew that he was leaving Canada. And as things have been coming out more that just the Team USA guys just want to play with each other, you knew that Brady was leaving. We speculated a couple of weeks ago on where Brady could go, but Brady Tkachuk is going to play with his brother, Matthew. In Florida, Ottawa acquires the 9th pick, the 25th pick for the first round of 2026, a second conditional 2027. So essentially the 2 picks that they got from Seattle, and then a first in 2029. This doesn't surprise me. I think this will be, you know, very convenient for their podcast. I no longer have issues with the Ottawa Senators. That's really how I feel about this trade. I do think that the Ottawa Senators have upgraded within the past like 3 days, I will say. But we will get to that next Ottawa trade in a second because we have a couple of more. We've got a trade between the Calgary Flames and the New Jersey Devils. Calgary acquires Simon Nemec and Tisplikov. Sorry if I'm botching that, Neil. New Jersey acquires Etienne Morin, a second in 2026, two conditional firsts in separate years. You knew Nemec was leaving because there were rumors that he wanted out of New Jersey. And as we've been saying for the past, I want to say the past couple of months, New Jersey has a cap problem. You lock down a lot of guys for a lot of money for a while, and it's not boding that well. So I think this honestly works in both teams' favor because, Krusty, as you pointed out when we were talking earlier, Simon Nemec and being able to play with Zane Parik is going to be great for Calgary, I think. And New Jersey definitely, you know, sheds a bit of cap space, helps their massive problem. Do I think New Jersey's done? No, because right now I don't think any team is done. I think the entire rosters and the draft order is going to look completely different on Friday.
Yeah, it's gone bonkers. I'll comment a little bit on both trades that we've gone over if you'd like me to.
Absolutely.
The Tkachuk trade, you know, basically, I think there might have been a discussion. Where do you see yourself in 2 years? And I think Ottawa knew it wasn't in Ottawa. I believe indirectly Brady gave them enough of a heads up, which I commend him for. Matthew did the same thing in Calgary. Didn't just take it to UFA and then not, you know, basically let them know, I don't think this is going to work. I think everybody knew it wasn't going to work. And then, you know, there was the talk of the 4-team trade list. Go ahead, Hockey Princess.
Matthew was not the captain of the Calgary Flames at that point in time, correct?
He was not.
I think it's a little, it stings a bit more, and we can ask Third Line Plug this later in the season, because we've never had the unfortunate time of knowing my captain doesn't want to be here. My captain wants out.
I'll have to check on that. I am unsure if Chris Chelios was a captain or not.
Yeah.
If Chris Chelios was the captain, your captain wanted out also.
Did he ever say that he wanted out, or was it just like a surprise and let me lie to everybody? Because that was my understanding, where it was like, that's why it hurt so bad, because it was like, no, I will never leave you. Oh, wait, the next bombshell just walked in. I'm going to go talk to her, even though we've been in a relationship for X amount of years.
Okay, without getting too far off, no, it wasn't that simple. The pain came from I'll never go to Detroit to going to Detroit.
Right.
But I believe he was also a captain. These things happen, as we know by the Dylan Larkin stuff. I think Ottawa, but I think he gave him like a 4-team list. And at the end of the day, that wasn't going to work either. He had the control of deciding where he wanted to go. They knew that. So they tried to get the best deal possible for him now. And, you know, as we'll go on, there's more to it. As far as the Nemec trade, this is a big one for Jersey. Because basically what you've decided is you have a superstar. And what I'm noticing a lot with the superstars lately is I have to do an awful lot to keep superstars happy. So you decided not to pay this kid, but you're going to pay the superstar's brother. That, at the end of the day, that's what this decision is.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to pay Luke Hughes instead of this guy, and I just think this guy is going to be a stud thumper for a long time. So I don't think it's a great move by New Jersey, but again,
I think it's a great move for Calgary.
Yes, I think it's a great move for Calgary, but at the end of the day, you'd already paid Luke. As you pointed out, you now have cap trouble. He needed to be moved.
Yeah.
And you did get, especially if Calgary tanks for like 3 years, which I am unsure looking at that decor, it works out pretty well for New Jersey. So we will see.
Yeah.
There we go. There's 2 down.
Dude, we still have a lot more to go, guys. It was a crazy 48 hours. I was at the racetrack in the middle of Wisconsin getting the Brady Tkachuk one. It was madness. Next one we have that I didn't like initially, but now talking to our Washington Capitals insider, apparently they've been screaming for this for a long time. So we have a trade between the first of the Washington trades. We've got between Washington and the St. Louis Blues. Washington acquires Jordan Kyrou. St. Louis Blues acquire Connor McMichael, as I love to call him, the best Connor Mick in the game. Milton Gastrin, who was, I believe, a 3rd-round pick a year or 2 ago, and then the number 16 pick for 2026. You kind of knew Caps were picking 16 and 18. You figured that they weren't taking both to Friday. I think, Washington Capitals needs top 6 scoring. That's kind of been a big issue for a while. You could argue that this is an issue that goes back to Backstrom no longer being there and just the inability to kind of fill that, which, not saying that Jordan Kyrou fills that problem, but he definitely helps that problem where you need top 6 scoring and top 6 talent, because you have a lot of guys that are very, very talented on the Washington Capitals, but it's kind of a 3rd-line player playing top minutes, and it's working, but it's also not. You also have a reunion between Jordan Kyrou and Jacob Chikrin, who used to play on juniors together. Learned that yesterday. But yeah, this one, I think, works for Washington, obviously. In St. Louis, Kyrou's constantly been in the rumor mill of, like, is it getting dealt at the trade deadline, in the offseason? Really, at any point, the NHL loves to bring up the trade speculations of Jordan Kyrou or Rob Thomas. And so you figured at some point one of them was getting dealt. So it works for Washington and St. Louis. Connor McMichael is one hell of a player. You get a younger kid that you can kind of plug in either, I believe it's Springfield Thunderbirds is their minor league. And now St. Louis has the 15 and the 16 pick. Whether they take both of those to Friday and draft the Ruck twins or they flip another one prior to that, we don't know. I don't know anything at this point.
Well, to go completely over that, as far as the Blues are concerned, they have 4 first-rounders.
Yes.
4. And this is for a team that on paper you would almost consider a bubble playoff team.
Yeah, I hate it.
We have made fun of Kyrou on the show a little bit because of the little crying incident and stuff like that. And while talking about that, as I've mentioned on this show many a times, there is, on one hand, I can count people who dog it. Kyrou was not one of them either.
Yeah.
And it's just the constant blowback from like a fan base that when you get so rabid, you're thinking they don't care. And it's lack of effort. It rarely is, but I think it's just the time we live in. I've been told by other people in the biz that the one thing that I didn't know about Kyrou was he is a heck of a defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, could get top 10 Selke votes almost. So that is a huge pickup for Washington. St. Louis gets a ton back for him. And with all of these people being told that the trades are coming out, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Yes, they're obtainable, but it's at a high price, and that's a high price.
Yes.
I think this is one that works very well for both teams.
Oh, 100%. Next one, getting back to the Ottawa Senators have upgraded in the past 3 days. The Ottawa Senators acquire William Eklund, Haltonen, and Svoboda, and San Jose acquires the number 9 pick, reuniting William Eklund with his buddy Fabian Zetterlund. I think everyone likes to, of course, talk about Mac and Will and Nisa. William Eklund is an incredible young talent. So I think this is huge for the Ottawa Senators because you have an ability to acquire a young, talented player that can play at the NHL level. This is not a prospect that has to be in Belleville or is in college for another year or two. Eklund can play now. Eklund can put the puck in the net for you now. And, Ottawa was, again, that's another possible bubble team depending on a lot of different factors. They were in the first round this year. You need players that can play now. The Ottawa, I believe, is past the point of racking up picks and stacking up prospects in juniors or college or down in Belleville, which is their minor league team. You need players that can play now, and I think William Eklund is more than worth giving away the 9th pick.
Oh, most definitely. Ottawa's GM was basically, without completely coming out and came out and said there'll be more after the Brady Tkachuk. They didn't want prospects. That's kind of what the hand they were dealt, and they were going to figure something out. Obviously they did. And it worked out top well. 6 forward. Is he a Brady Tkachuk? No, there's not many that are, but he's still a top 6 extreme talent.
Yes.
And I think it was a great move by Ottawa. It's a move that they had to have. Yes, they cannot.
It's an exciting move. Like Brady has left, but you are injecting more youth to get excited about in the roster. And I think that's a huge win.
Yeah, and you can't take a step back.
No.
There's just a lot of teams right now that are saying, we can't take a step back.
Not us.
We don't have time. You need to go forward. So I don't know who are the teams that'll be tanking this year besides Vancouver. Yes?
Oh, no, us.
Oh, let's hope not. But again, with this trade, it basically, there was the writing on the wall that the little bit of hope that we had for Stenberg was gone.
Yes.
Because with that 9th pick, San Jose will get a defenseman and somebody who might be even better than the number 2 pick or the number 4 pick. So it worked out extremely well for them, but this gave them, it erased everything as far as if Stenberg would drop to 4.
Yeah.
It is making Greer look like a stud.
Because he is a stud. As much as I hate to admit it, Mike Greer is a stud.
This is his draft. And Buffalo has done a couple things to make it kind of their draft, but this is his draft.
Yeah.
He is getting all the attention. That they're getting so much press it isn't even funny. Again, I think it's a trade that works out for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ottawa has to go forward. They've got too many people locked up. You've got an elite defenseman. You've got a lot of pretty good top 6 talent. It's time to make your move. So they're going to carry on, which is good because I don't think the city of Ottawa could handle taking a couple steps backwards. So I'm glad that they were able to work on something also.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to jump to the newest one, Krusty, just so we can talk about ours for the longest, because we have a lot of thoughts and feelings, guys. We were on the phone for a while. But the newest one that came out, also, we're recording this on Wednesday, so there may be other things that happen Wednesday night that we have to talk about draft weekend. But newest one is between the Washington Capitals and the Buffalo Sabres. The details I don't believe are completely out, but as of right now, Buffalo just receives a third rounder while the Washington Capitals receive Alex Tuck. It is a sign and trade, 8 years, 10.5. I know some people were saying that it's a bit of an overpay. I don't think so. The Washington Capitals have 25.9 mil in cap space prior to this deal for Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck hits it at 10.5. That still leaves you $15.4 million in cap room for the OV of it all. And Jordan Kyrou and Alex Tuck are both on the right side. So there's no writing on the wall of we're getting too many left wingers, Ovi is gone. There's still more than enough room. And like we talked about with the Kyrou trade, the Washington Capitals need top six talent, or just guys that can play at the top six level. That is the big thing that they need to take them to the next step. I think this is great for Washington because you just need more guys. I think this helps out so many people. I think this helps you. I think this helps Dylan. I think this helps the younger kids, the Protus brothers that are coming up, shelters them a little bit, as well as some of the other kids coming up from Hershey. I think this is a huge win for the Washington Capitals. And yeah.
I think it's an incredible way to say, hey, grade 8, how about sticking around one more year?
Yeah.
Look at all this offensive firepower we got for you. Okay. Let's go for 1,000 goals. Okay. I think it's a great move. I mean, Washington, as we go through the summer, we can start to discuss that. I don't know where their defense is coming from. All I know is these kind of talented players coming in. I know they have a centerman who plays extremely well with talented players, and that's Dylan Strome. He might not be somebody who can drive a line on his own, but given players around him, he will make them shine. So I think this works out really well for Washington. And as we're learning now, everybody's making their moves.
You know where their defensive is coming from. Krusty, they got Jacob Chychrun and a Hudson brother.
The Hudson brother is not the best defensively, and Chychrun is good. Maybe borderline really good, but that's it.
He's been doing what they need.
Well, you need a little bit more, though. So that'll be the question mark for them. But that's a summertime question. Unless we're going to make this show like 4 hours long.
Yeah, no.
But, I've got a lot of cigars in the humidor. I got nothing but time.
Well, maybe. We've got a lot of other things.
Okay. Carry on, Hockey Princess.
Well, we need to hit a quick ad break before we get to our stuff.
Okay. It all comes down to this. Best of 7 battle, and DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. And with the World Cup going on, lots of cool stuff. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code THPN, spend $5 and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Final trade, guys.
Uh-oh.
The more I look at it, the more I just have a lot of feelings. But I would like to preface, if you don't mind, Krusty, this trade. Because there were a lot of comments calling this the Seth Jones trade 2.0. The players do not make the trades. The players do not make the trades. We should not hate a player just because the trade was bad. They did not control the said trade. That is the job of the general manager. Now, I'm not encouraging for us to go out and hate general managers whatsoever. But I would just like to remind folks that the players do not make the trades, whether it's a good trade, whether it's a bad trade. So let's not hate Bowen Byram just because this trade is bananas, because he did not orchestrate this.
Well, he orchestrated a little bit, and he wanted out of Buffalo, so let's call it is what it is, at least a little bit. Do you want to go over the trade?
Yes. The Chicago Blackhawks receive Bowen Byram and Jordan Greenway for the number 4, the number 45, and Louis Crevier. I don't know necessarily how I feel about this still, and it's been a day, kind of a half day since it was announced. I need to see a contract extension now. And I know Katie has said that is a priority for next week. Okay. Come June 29th, 10 a.m., I'd like to see this extension, because without this extension, it's the worst trade that I've ever seen. With an extension, it stings, but it's fine, in my opinion. It's a lot to give up, but it's a lot to get. But without the contract extension, it's awful. For those that are unfamiliar with Bowen Byram, he is a defenseman. He will be our number 1 defenseman coming into October, barring anything else bananas happens. I'm just going to say that at the end of every prediction, because who knows what will happen this week, next week. We don't know. He will definitely shelter some of the younger D-core. That is Artie, Renzel, even Core a little bit. He is going to shelter them. He will play massive minutes. I think this also helps the pickle also, because then it does not all just fall on Vlasic and Kaiser to soak up as many minutes as possible and do too much. So I think this helps the current D-core all around. It makes Connor Bedard very happy, because as we've heard, he immediately called Byram from the golf course talking about how excited he was that they were able to play together. And I think whether you like it or not, that is a must for KD, is to make Connor Bedard happy to get that contract extension, because right now we still don't have it. And I'm nervous. Now I'm starting to get nervous. When everybody was getting nervous back in November, it was like, we have time. I'm starting to get a little twitchy about it. So, Katie, you got to make 98 happy, and this does. So, I don't hate it. I do think that this is a bit of an overpay. I would be more fine with if it was 2 out of the 3 pieces. I have no problem trading away the number 4 pick. Sure. But did it need to be all 3, the 4, the 45, and Creech? Maybe. maybe not. But initially, gut reaction, it scared me a little bit. It's giving panic. It's giving Katie was, on the golf course in Brantford and watched Mike Greer make these colossal moves to jump over our rebuild, and he panicked. But I'm very curious to see how Byram fits within the D core come October.
Yeah, this was a crazy one. I spent the day yesterday playing 18 when all the first trades broke, and then I went and walked the dog, and then the Byram one went.
Guys, I had to call Krusty and break the news to him. I was nervous.
First off, I'm a Bo Byram fan since the World Juniors. What that kid had to go through after that gold medal game, he has a special place in my heart. No doubt about it. We don't like to tell people what to think on this show.
No, but I basically did by telling them, please don't hate Bo and Byram.
Right. But we'd like to say don't hate him. Also, as I've stated on this show many, many times, at some point in time when you decide you're going to get in the game, you are going to need to overpay.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. So my only thing to people is shelve the overpay. I don't think there's anybody that you would talk to that would say it wasn't. It's the fact of doing business. It's you knew you were going to overpay. The questions with Bo Bryan, how good he is in his own end. Bo has never played top minutes. Bo has been a number 3 defenseman everywhere he's at. That's the frightening part. Sure. Is there fear? Oh gosh, there's a whole ton. I don't even need to bring up the concussion problems early in the career. Yes. But we've all been saying it's time to move forward. We've been telling Katie it's time to move forward. Was it a panic move? I think so. The other thing that I heard makes it, I think, even more of a panic mood that I heard Greer was putting out his little feelers of saying 9 and 27 for Bo Byram. And had this draft actually been completely live, I would assume Greer would have walked past KD and said, at no way was I going to give up the 9 and 27 for him. It's a good move. We're saying we're starting back up.
Yeah.
Tanking is not an option anymore. We're saying we're going to get better. I think we all want that.
Yes.
Can Bo be a number 1? I don't know. At the end of the day, for me, I still consider in 2 years that Bo might be anchoring a second pairing, and that's fine because I believe Artie will be your number 1.
Artie.
Most people don't believe that. That's fine. In processing this, I did what everybody does. That's why I stay off the X, the Y, the Z, and with all the.
Oh my God, thank goodness we weren't on Twitter.
But, for me to be going through all of my draft stuff and all my draft hype and then to see it all disintegrate was probably a little depressing also last night.
Yeah.
This is a good hockey player. I do not like or do I care for the fact that so-and-so is friends. What the does that matter? None.
You do need to make Connor happy.
Correct. As we just went over with Jack Hughes. You have to keep your superstar happy. This makes him happy. This is somebody, even though they didn't play a ton together through their Canada years, because Bo's a little bit older than Connor, they both represent Canada big. They both have gone through Canada programs a good amount. Bo was the captain of that, of one of the junior teams. I just don't like this whole thing. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm a firm believer. Even if people hate each other in the room, once they start to win, it just doesn't matter. Everybody comes together.
Yeah.
It's a fact for the most part, except for rare occasions. So I'm excited for it now. Is it an overpay? Yes, I've come to grips with it. Can he play number 1 minutes? I'm worried. I would, at the end of the day, I think I would like to see maybe Pickle swap sides. Let Bo play from his strong left and have the Pickle play the right. But I would like to see the Pickle sheltering him a little bit. My concern for the first half of the season is put Bo Byram in every position to succeed.
Yes.
Do not put all of this on him. Okay? Just don't. He doesn't need to babysit Artie a little bit. That needs to be somebody else's job.
That Kaiser. I mean, like, it's been working.
Yeah. And people have
not pairing together.
Yeah. So again, was it a lot? Yes. Do we still need a top forward to play with Connor Bedard? Yes. When do we get that? I don't know now, because now you're telling me we're no longer a bottom 10 team, which is very debatable to begin with, but that's for summertime shows. Yes, Hockey Princess.
With media availability being had today, Scott Powers, one of my favorites, had some nuggets from media. And speaking of guys that can play with Connor Bedard, Kyle Davidson said he'll continue to assess what's out there, but he believes that Roman Kanserov is the type of player who can be a fit to play with Connor Bedard. Davidson said maybe there would be more excitement for Kanserov if he was acquired through trade rather than just signed.
No, there would not be. I don't need excitement. I need you have now told me we are in the result business. Finally, we're now taking Coach Q quotes. We are in the business of results. So that's all that matters. If you believe Kanserov and Connor can play together, well, I still need some big stud winger.
A 6'3" winger that can thump people and play on the top line. You want those two together, fine, but that's 5'9" and 5'9". It's not going to work.
We can get into that at another point.
Yeah.
There is still work to be done. Does it make us better? Yes. As I've always stated on the show also, we're not the only team getting better.
No, clearly. We're watching Mike Greer do a masterclass.
Because I've been told we won't be bottom 10 this year. And to people who are saying that, please feel free to text, write in, whatever you need to do. But I need to know the 8 teams that we're jumping over. I really need to know that because I can't come up with them. Okay? I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see us, besides maybe jumping over Winnipeg, right, if they go full Rupert. I don't see us getting past anybody else in the Central. And so there's maybe Vancouver. There's not a lot of teams getting worse, as we could tell by all the trades that happened. But do not shelve your excitement.
No.
This is going to be a fun kid to watch. He is a hockey player. He has high hockey IQ. As was stated, what the other beautiful thing this could bring about is everybody's going to be licking their chops for that power play. He gets to run the power play on the top. Connor Bedard goes back to the half wall. Kanserov and Frondell for one-timers all over the place. This is get excited. I'm saying get excited. I don't know what the results will be. I don't think we'll jump incredibly, but we might have some good hockey for some stretches next year because of it. And that's what we're looking for. But for me, that's the main thing is you've said the tanking is over. We've decided to start climbing upward. Somebody in one of my sites said, start climbing the ladder up. That's what we're starting to do. So My original complete anger was one thing. I do completely believe that he got bullied into it. And you now have Bo Byram with a very difficult agent with all the leverage.
Yep.
I believe Bo will step in and say, get it done, because you look really, really bad if you say, hey, I'm not signing with Buffalo because I want to be a number one. Then you go to a place where you could be, and then you're going to finagle over a couple mil. We'll see. We'll see what that contract length looks like.
Yeah.
But as you stated, that is tied to this. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You don't have a contract for him after this year. And he has all the leverage, so I expect him to take them to the bank. As you pointed out, I will reiterate, he is going to be paid like a number one defenseman. Not an elite number one, but a number one.
And that's fine because we have all the money.
We have boatloads of money. As you pointed out also, this gives the kids a break. Everything is not on there. Everything was thrust upon. You saw what happened mid-season. Everything was thrust upon Artie. Artie all of a sudden starts to shine. He's told to do more, and things take a back step. He can't be the anchor of that defense at the age of 20.
Right.
Okay? That's now Bo's job. Bo will be able to deliver on that. So, again, I went through the whole gamut of emotions. I'm telling you.
There were a lot of emotions last night, guys.
We have no choice but to get excited. Let's keep getting excited. My problem, as I've stated before, I am not a big fan of telling people, hey, you're going to sign with us. Do you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm guaranteeing you top line minutes. I'm guaranteeing you the top one defensive pairing. I'm guaranteeing you this.
Who does?
With the accountability, with results matter, it's time to, these things need to start to be earned.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I think.
Like you said, we'll get excited. Chrissy, since as of right now, we're not picking in the first, I feel like we can end on a positive spin. But I do want to break down kind of what the rest of the week looks like in terms of the show. So this will come out Thursday, our regularly scheduled episode. We will also be going live like we normally do during the draft weekend. So Friday, post round one, or, you know, if it takes 5 hours like last year, then probably kind of during the late 20s. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel to hop onto that. Saturday, again, probably at the tail end of the draft, maybe not the very end, but after kind of the majority of the draft has wrapped up, then we will go again, kind of breaking down everything for night one and then night two. So we've got this episode Thursday and then Friday and Saturday. And then we are really getting into the off season. But don't worry, guys. We have some very fun guests that are coming on during the off season. We're
Krusty Spired again?
No, you're coming on with our friends. We may bring back hockey lore. We may bring back another Hockey 101 class will resume. We shall see. But again, we got a triple header this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Just as a reminder, folks, make sure to hit that link and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. That is all, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
And we get to work.